Hey everyone, Mitch coming from the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, well, I'm going to be talking about a deck that very well might become my new favorite personal deck. And it's one that's, well, kind of had different, weird, somewhat iterations, and like kind of like another deck actually started as it, and then it kind of transformed and morphed into something else. And it's just a concept that I absolutely love. Let's jump into it. So first up, let's talk about the commander, Garth One Eye. Now, the commander actually can adjust technically. You actually don't need Garth to be your commander. The deck doesn't revolve around Garth, but Garth works very well in this build. So let me just say that Garth doesn't have to be your commander. You can pick another, most likely 5-color commander because, well, most of the deck, I guess there's the color you could cut, I guess, but let's just say that, you know what? Garth is my perfect pick. There are other picks that are 5-color too. Let's leave it at that. So anyways, Garth is a 5/5 human wizard that costs Wooburg. Tap, choose a card name that has been chosen for wrong, Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shiver Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy that's chosen name. Yeah, basically, hey, all those cards from Alpha, you get access to one of each color, plus, you know, the Black Lotus as well. And yeah, you can do some crazy things with this. That being said, again, Garth is a great toolbox commander that can help you out in a lot of situations. Garth is also, again, not necessarily what the deck is about. That being said, yeah, Garth does have something that this deck is about, and that is a tap ability. This deck, I like to just call tap, 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 tap-to-roo. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, what is it? Happy Gilmore. I'm sure I messed up that quote. It's not really a quote. It's just like, you know, when Happy Gilmore is upset about, you know, tap it in. Just tap it in. Tap, tap, tap-to-roo. You know, I believe Happy Gilmore says something like that. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on that, because I'm sure I am. Anyways, love that old movie. Anyways, Garth One Eye is a great representative for the deck. Garth is a great card for the deck, but it is not run through Garth. That being said, there's a lot of great tap effects, and this entire deck is all about tapping. And yeah, ever since I was a kid, and I had my Intruder Alarm, you know, Wirewood Channeler, Crozen, whatever the one is that makes Centaur's weird build, I've loved tap effects, and yeah. With all that said, it's a very budget-friendly deck. This one is just, according to Moxfield, $16.35 for this entire deck. I will say it does not include the basics in that price on Moxfield. That being said, you might already have those basics. It doesn't include shipping either, but still, again, a very, very budget-friendly build. Again, just $16 this deck can do some really incredible things. If you are interested in it, if you're excited about it like I am, check out that deck list link in the description below. And of course, as always, well, yeah, check it out. And let's jump into the tactics. So first up, yeah, this deck is basically like, hey, let's get all the tap abilities and throw it in. Yeah, you can do some crazy things with that. So, of course, for our ramp, we're actually going to be utilizing some Mana Dorks, which have some fantastic tap abilities. Beast Color Savant, a 1/1 with haste that costs 2 mana. Tap at 1 mana of any color, mana pool, spend a spell to cast a creature spell. Yeah, the vast majority of our spells are creature spells, so you can cast a lot of things with this very quickly. Moving on, Trevor the Mighty, again, very simple, very effective. A 1/1. That costs 2 mana. It can tap for 1 of any color. That's all you basically need. And sure, it can become a 3/3, I guess, if you have a dinosaur as well. Moving on, Elysian Carotid. It's a 1/1 that costs 2. It can tap for 1, but it can tap for 2 if you control a creature power 4 or greater. Again, your commander meets that requirement. So yeah, this can be very effective, very efficient. Next up, speaking of efficient, Catilda Dawnheart Prime. A 1/1. That's protection from werewolves. Who cares about that? Anyways, human creatures you control have tap at 1 mana of any this creature's colors, essentially. Got a decent amount of humans in this deck, so now all of them become Mana Dorks. That's fantastic with this. And also pay 4 in Selesnya colors. Tap, put a counter on each creature you control. This can also be, of course, used and abused with this deck as well. Next up, Land of Loam Speaker, 1/3 that can tap for 1 of any color, and also tap and tap target land becomes a 3/3 with haste all turn solely land. You can actually utilize this again and again and again for some really cool effects, so keep that in mind. And of course, by actually turning your lands into creatures, you can abuse some untap effects as well that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Next up, Ornithopter Paradise, very simple, very effective. Low to the ground Mana Dork that can tap for 1 mana of any color. And then we got Paradise Druid. It's got Hex for as long as it's untapped, so that's a nice little protection for it. Tap at 1 mana of any color. Reclusive Taxidermist, apparently just like, hey, yes, I just like to stay on my own and just do taxidermy things. Yep, cool, good for you. And also, you know, add mana, and also, hey, if someone messes with me, yeah, I get +3/+2. If I've got 4 more creature cards in my graveyard, I get to be a decent threat. Next up, Inganeska, again, talking about, you know, turning your creatures into Mana Dorks. This one's fantastic for this deck. A 4/4 human god, creature control Vigilance, which is lovely, and tap at 1 of any color, special when to cast a creature spell, which is fine. And whenever you cast a creature spell, 3 or more mana from creature spell to cast it, draw a card. So also some card advantage there as well. Next up is Exara. Yeah, 2/3 for 4 mana. tap for 2 mana of any one color, which is lovely. Also, sure, if you got some X spells, yeah, get some things as well. But again, the thing is, it's just a really good mana dork for this deck. And then finally, potentially the best, depending on the situation, Death Bloom Ritualist. 3/5 Elf Warlock that can tap to add X mana of any one color or X number of creature cards in your graveyard. Again, we've got a lot of creatures in this deck. When our graveyard builds up, this can tap for an absurd amount and do some really, really crazy things for you. But now let's move on to tech number 2, because we've got a different kind of dork. Not really a mana dork, but like a land dork in a way, I guess. Sky Shroud Ranger is a good example. A 1/1 that can tap, get a land from your hand, get it right into play. Play as a sorcery, activate as a sorcery, whatever it is, doesn't matter. This is a great way to ramp and say, hey, yeah, sure, I got some extra lands. Let's get some extra land drops in play. Next up, Land War Scout. Exact same thing, essentially, except for no activation requirement, sorcery speed. Hey, get a land from your hand into play. Also, hey, Scaled Herbalist, exact same thing. Yeah, you're going to see some of these effects throughout the deck and saying, you know what, let's get more and more ramp on tap effects. And again, we've got ways to untap, ways to take advantage of. Again, this one's a huge one, though. Skyward Eye Prophets. A little expensive at 6 mana, but again, we've got plenty of ways to ramp, plenty of ways to get this out, and plenty of ways to use and abuse that tap effect, which is fantastic. A 3/3 Vigilance, tap real top card of your library. It's a land, goes right on the battlefield, otherwise goes right in your hand. So again, either essentially ramp or card advantage for you. A fantastic card. Next up, let's talk about tech number 3 quickly now, because yeah, haste is the name of the game with this deck when it comes to getting creatures down with tap abilities. We love haste because it lets us utilize them right away. Crashing Drawbridge, a really good one. 0/4 defender, tap creature control, again, haste until end of turn. So again, get creatures out, tap this, all of a sudden we can utilize them right away to maybe get more creatures out. Maybe we can untap this and tap and give those creatures haste too. Next up, no need to do that with Fires of Yavimaya though, just strictly gives all of our creatures haste. And also, sure, you can sacrifice it if you really want to give target creature +2/+2. You might want to do that at some point, but more than likely, just keep this in play and all of a sudden your creatures are going to be hasty and activate right away. Next up, Rising of the Day. Creature control of haste. Sure, Ledger creatures get +1/+0 for you. That's nice too. What we care about again is just, hey, it's enchantment. Stays in play, gives our creatures hate, which is fantastic. We can utilize them right away. Another enchantment that's great is Nahiri's Resolve. Creature control +1/+0 and have haste. At the beginning of your end step, you can also exile any number of non-token creatures, artifacts, and/or creatures, I should say. Turn to the battlefield under control to begin next upkeep, essentially. So sure, it's going to be a reset as well, like a mini blink effect, or not mini, it's a mass blink effect, but we can choose which creatures it is and artifacts it is, and essentially say, you know what, cool, come back, untapped, essentially, and we can utilize your effects again because of that fantastic haste. Finally, Guard of the Blood Flame. One can help out in multiple ways. 3/3 flash, ETBs, return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that put there from anywhere this turn. On top of that, a creature control of haste. So again, a great way to say, oh, you just board wipe? Cool, that's okay. I'll just get them all back. And also, sure, when I get this in play, I also get haste for my creatures as well, so I can utilize their fantastic abilities right away. Moving on, though, let's move on to tactic number 4, Dig Down, because we're going to dig down into our deck as well. Some fantastic tap effects, too. Enclave Cryptologist, a single blue mana. Doesn't do anything until you level it up. But once we get to level 1 to 2, it is a Merfolk Looter, essentially. Draw, then discard. And at level 3+, which is, of course, very easy for us to get to, hey, tap, draw a card. So, yeah, this can provide a lot of card advantage throughout the game. Moving on, Dryad Greenseeker. Tap, look, top card of your library. It's a land, goes in your hand. So, again, instead of it being a dead draw for us, we just get it right into our hand, get rid of that dead draw. It'll be fantastic. Moving on, Jacob Hawken, Inspector. Don't know why I always talk in that accent. It's not even an accent. It's just terrible. Anyways, 0/2, tap, draw a card, then exile card for your hand face down. You may look at the card for as long as it remains exiled. You may pay 4 blue. If you do, you transform it. So kind of like a Merfolk Looter, but also with potential to, well, flip over. And there you go. Hawkins Inside. Beginning for upkeep, exile top card, library face down. You look at the card for those exiled. Once you get to your turn, you can play a land or cast a spell for free, essentially. The paying out man's cost. So essentially just, hey, get free effects. Lovely. Yeah, flip it when you need to. Next up, Merfolk Looter. It's a Merfolk Looter. It loots. There you go. Tap, draw a card, discard a card. Plarg, Dean of Chaos, does the exact opposite of that because it's chaotic. Tap, discard a card, draw a card. So a rummaging effect. Also on top of that, pay 4 and a red. Tap, real card to stop your library. So reveal a non-legendary card, mana value 3 or less. You may cast a card without paying its mana cost, but I'll reveal cards so I can't spend the bottom library in any order. Basically, hey, you know what? What we can do essentially is, yeah, either utilize this for some card selection, or yes, just utilize it for chaotic, awesome effects. Also, the backside, sure, if you need a Gust of DM order, you can do that too. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. So basically, it can be a great way to say, you know what? Let's actually just attack with one thing, and then all of a sudden, we get to untap our creatures, so we can do that again. Thought Courier, yet another Merfolk Looter. We got there type of card. Tap, draw a card, discard a card. Vohar, also another Merfolk Looter with a little twist. If you discard an instant sorcery card, each opponent gets drained 1. Oh no! Also pay 2, sacrifice it. You can cast in sorcery from your graveyard, this turn essentially. So yeah, another great card selection, and then also extra kind of value spell. A lot of this here a very cool one with this kind of a deck with all of our tap untap type effects. Tap, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand and put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. It gains when the last time counter is removed. Basically cast for free. Essentially, if it's a creature spell, gains haste. Then remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile. Kind of like a weird suspend where it's like suspend but just for Orlando. And so yeah, just keep on tapping this. Tap, get more cards, get more time counters removed, get things cast for free. Moving on, Archivist, kind of that final evolved form of that first card that we talked about. Tap, draw a card, very simple, very effective. Tokasia, I always mess that up. Anyways, Dig Site Mentor. 4/3, creatures control Vigilance and tap Surveil 1. So all of our creatures now all of a sudden can just tap, look at the top card of the library, put in your graveyard if you don't like it. Some great card selection to have for all of our creatures to have, and that Vigilance is nice as well. And yeah, if you exile, get artifacts to your graveyard if you really want to do that, sure, why not? And then finally, one of my favorite cards, and one of the cards that really inspired this deck, Arcanus the Omnipotent. I love you. 3/4 Wizard, tap, draw 3 cards, pay 2 blue, bounce it back to its owner's hand, so some nice protection there. But yeah, hey, you know what, opponent? I'm going to tap, I'm going to draw 3, I'm going to find ways to untap and do it again, and just draw an absurd amount of cards to make you just so jealous that I can draw this number of cards very easily with this amazing card. Next up, let's move on to attack number 5, Tapped Out, because we've got some creatures with some tap effects that can make our opponents even more sad. Oh no. A 1/1 human nomad, Spurn Mage Advocate, this one's really funny. Tap, return 2 target cards from opponent's graveyard to their hand, destroy target attacking creature. Now the thing is, back in the day when this was like, hey, it's 1-on-1, yeah, okay, you get some cards back, all right, you get some advantage for me taking your creature out. These days, hey, I'm playing Commander. Hey, opponent over there, let's make a deal. That guy's attacking me with a creature that I don't like. Let's get you 2 cards back out of your graveyard. You can't use those against me. Is that okay, though? You just basically regrowth twice. Okay, cool. Yeah, you get those cards, and I destroy that attacking creature. You get nothing for attacking me. You get nothing, and your creature's gone. And I mean, we have a buddy over here. Okay, really good political card. Next up, Termination Facilitator. Tap out a bounty counter on target creature planeswalker or sorcery. Whenever a creature planeswalker controls a bounty counter on it is dealt damage, destroy it. So essentially, you are the most fragile thing of all time. Everything has death touch against you, essentially. So yeah, just tap on a bounty counter on that. Your opponents to be incredibly careful with their creatures now. Really can't block with them, really can't attack with them, or they're just going to lose them. So this is a great tap effect to really use and abuse. Next up, No Mage Advocate. Again, these advocates are so funny because it's like, hey, you over there. I don't like that player's artifact or enchantment, okay? Because, yeah, we don't like that, right? I'll give you 2 cards back, essentially, out of your graveyard, and we're buddies now, right? Okay, yeah, you don't use them against me. All right, good. Again, yeah, so basically, tap, give them 2 cards back, destroy an artifact or enchantment, great repeatable effect that says, I make friends, and also, I destroy my enemies. Moving on to speed of destroying enemies, Royal Assassin, opponents, never tap your creatures again, because if you do, they are gone. Tap, destroy target creature. Tapped creature, I should say. Yeah, it's going to be gone again and again and again. Nostro, Voice of the Crags. This one's really interesting. Tap, choose 1, where X number of cards you draw, spells you cast this turn. Scry X deals X damage to a creature, you gain X life. So, yeah, I mean, Scrying X is lovely. Great card selection there. Gaining X life. Sure, if you need to pad your life total, good there too. But more likely, it's going to be like, oh, hey, yeah, let's just demolish some creatures again and again and again. Speaking of which, Salvo's Assassin, a somewhat weird one. Tap, destroy target creature which shares a color with the most common color among all permanents or tied. Creature source can't be regenerated. So, again, slight restriction on it. But yeah, if an opponent's got like a lot of green creatures in play or whatever, let's just start getting rid of those. So make sure you're just keeping in mind, which creatures share with the most. Next up, Kamal Pit Fighter. Tap 3 damage to a creature player. This can just be crazy. This can actually be a win con for you as well. Take out creatures, take out a player's faces with this too. And of course, yeah, also from the time of when Arcanus was back there with me when I was a kid. So yeah, I had to include Cabal. But now let's go to attack number 5, Value Town. And yeah, we've got another level up creature with Xandu Tuskcolor, a really cool one. Level up for 1 and a green. Well, level 1 does nothing. Level 2 does, though. 2 to 5, tap, create a 3/3 green elf and creature token. That is huge. And also, hey, level 6 plus, 2 3/3. So yeah, we can make an absolute massive army with this. Yeah, pretty quickly, actually, once we get things going. Next up, Semite Elder. This is an interesting one. Tap, creature control, gain protection from the colors of target permanent you control until end of turn. This can be quite funny because, hey, this can be an incredible way to protect your things, and also your commander has one of all 5 colors. So essentially you can give all your creatures protection from everything, which helps them get through in combat, of course, essentially against any of your opponents. I mean, unless they've got like artifact creatures, whatever. But yes, basically a way to get them through in combat, a way to protect them from removal, and a really, really cool repeatable effect for you. Next up, Thraben Doomsayer. This one is very simple, very effective. Tap, you make a 1/1 human. And also, hey, if you're desperate and at 5 life, your creatures get +2/+2. Lovely, a great way to pump them. But yeah, again, a way throughout the game to just make more and more and more tokens. This one is crazy and I love it. Cryptic Gateway. Tap 2 and tap creature you control. You may put a creature card from your hand that shows a creature type with each creature tap this way on the battlefield. Yeah, you've got a good amount of overlap in this deck. You've got humans, you've got elves, you've got a lot of different things, you know, that actually overlap within this deck. And you can actually just say, you know what, let's just tap 2 of them, cheat something into play. Let's tap 2 of them, cheat something into play. And again, you can do this at instant speed, which is fantastic, so keep that in mind. Next up, this one is crazy. Experiment Crash. I love this. 4/6 has all activities, all other creature with a +1 counter on it. You can tap and get a counter on a creature, so you can actually steal your opponents as well. You can actually just, well, build a really scary kind of, well, just massive proj that just says, you know what, I've got all these incredible abilities from your creatures, my creatures, whatever they are. I can just keep building those throughout the game and do some really, really, really brutal things. And that's what attack number 7, do that again, because yeah, we've got a lot of ways to actually just repeat our tap effects by, well, tapping things, untap some more things like Curious Follower. Tap to untap another target permanent. So early on, a great ramp card for us. Tap, untap one of our lands. Cool, utilize that. But then when we get things into play, yeah, I like this one creature that's got this great tap effect. Arcanus in play, cool, all right, tap Arcanus, draw 3, and then tap this to untap that, to tap again, just draw 6, lovely. This is basically like, hey, what's the best tap effect that you have? This is a copy of it. Moving on, we've got other ones like Clever Conjurer. Tap to untap target permanent, not named Clever Conjurer, act on sorcery. Great, just keep doing that again and again and again. Then we've got Lord of the Healing House, a really cool card. Tap to untap another permanent, or tap to untap 2 other target legendary creature. So yeah, Garth and something else, cool. Let's untap those. Kelpie Guide, tap to untap another target permanent you control, or tap to tap target permanent. If you control 8 or more lands, you're gonna have 8 or more lands. So yeah, you can just start tapping down your opponent's things to essentially, well, shut them out of the game when you need to. Vizier Tumbling Sands, tap untap another permanent, or you can cycle it away to untap one thing if you need to. Murkfiend Liege, a very good card for a deck like this. Other green creatures and other blue creatures get +1/+1. Nice! We don't really care too much, and we care a little bit about that, I guess. But the important thing is, untap all green and or blue creatures you control during each player's untap step. We've got a lot of great green and blue untapped creatures, or creatures that we want to untap, I should say, including our commander. So you can take advantage of those again and again and again, kind of like a mini Seedborn Muse type effect. And then Tidewater Minion, finally, another very simple card. Hey, just hey, tap, untap another target permanent. What's not to love about that? Speaking of which, let's move on to tactic number 8 all together now, because we have some giant spells that might not cost a lot. Again, Call to Glory costs 2 mana, it's 1 and a white. And this can be an incredible spell for us because it's like, oh, you see all these creatures I just tapped. Oh no, what am I ever gonna do? I'm all tapped out with all my all of a sudden, 2 mana, untap all those. That means mana dorks, that means those card advantage ones, that means any of the damage ones, that means the ones that destroy things, that means everything. We get that all again. So then we can do it again, and then maybe again. And this is why things are pretty crazy with this deck. Untap all creature control, and also Samurai get +1/+1. We don't care about that. We care about the untapping again. 2 mana, untap your entire army. Great, and do it again. Then we can do it again with Dramatic Reversal. Again, we've got those creatures that can dig down into our deck like Arcanus. Cool, untap Arcanus, draw 3. Oh, I drew another one that I can untap my creatures with. Cool, okay, so tap them all again. Cast Dramatic Reversal, untap all non-land permanents you control. Lovely. Next up, a weird one, but I love it. Energy Arc. Untap any of target creatures. Those creatures neither deal nor receive combat damage this turn. Cool. Basically, this just at a very minimum can be, I untap all the creatures I have because I want to. Or, hey, this can be like a weird fog effect where your opponent's like, I attack you with my army. And you're like, Energy Arc? Untap your creatures and they don't hit me, and also I'll tap my creatures in response and get all my value and then untap them too. So there you go. Next up, Rally the Wings. Untap a creature you control, creature with flying at +2/+2. Who cares? We care about just untapping our creatures. Roar the Caw. Also, you can pump your creatures +1/+1 if you really want to. More likely just gonna untap our creatures, or we can entwine it to do both. We got Village Bellringer. This one actually can help us go, well, maybe a bit crazy. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but hey, Flash enters the battlefield, untap all creatures you control, so great. We just basically just say, hey, you know what? Whenever we want to, we flash this and we say, let's untap our army, and then do it again. Then we've got Turnabout. Turnabout's a great 1/2 artifact creature or land. Tap all untap permanents of the chosen type that the player controls, or untap all tap permanents, essentially. So basically, hey, if you want to shut down an opponent, tap all their things down. If you want to untap your things, though, you're like, yeah, creatures, me, untap them, do it again. Then we've got Join Shields. It's a great one, and one that can say, your opponent might think they've got you, and then you're like, nope, not at all. Untapable creature control gain Hexproof indestructible until end of turn. So basically, hey, you try to target my creatures, you try to wrath my creatures, and all of a sudden I'm like, no. And also I get all of them tapping again. So you're going to be in big trouble. Then there's Great Oak Guardian, again like Village Bellringer, a card that, well, can go pretty crazy with this deck. When it ETBs, creatures target player controls get +2/+2 until end of turn, untap them. Yeah, that's going to be our creatures. We're going to untap them on ETB, which can be a very dangerous thing. Then finally, Ready and Willing. Ready gives creatures you control indestructible this turn, untap each creature you control. Lovely. And then Willing, sure, creature control get Death Touch lifelink. That's also nice. But again, the important thing is, hey, protect my creatures and also untap them. Yeah, sign me up for that. And now let's go to tech number 9, and this is where things get gross. There and back again. Here we go. Nephalia Smuggler, a simple 1 mana, 1/1 human rogue that has pay 3 and a blue, tap, exile target creature controller, turn that card to the battlefield under your control. Yep, this can go infinite with either Village Bellringer or Great Oak Guardian, because hey, you know what? And actually, I think there's some Garth ways you can go infinite too. Anyways, this is just crazy. It's just like, you know what? Okay, sure, I'm on the battlefield. I can already help out again. If I've got, ways to get my creatures haste, I can already just help out as is. Again, my example with Arcanus, okay, because I love Arcanus. Have you heard that I love Arcanus? Anyways, you're paying 4 mana. You say, you know what? Let's blink Arcanus. It's gonna come back. Okay, cool. If I've got a way to give it haste again, like any of those ways I already talked about, cool, I can tap Arcanus again. This is basically, hey, pay 4 mana, draw 3 cards. So there's a lot of ways to just use and abuse, again, those tap effects again with something like this. Or again, Village Bellringer, it's like, okay, I enter the battlefield, untap all creatures I control, including this one in all those mana dorks that you have. If you've got mana dorks that can produce 4 or more mana, congratulations, you can do this as many times as you want. And if you've got more than 4 mana, yeah, that's infinite mana as well. So yeah, gross things can happen with this as well. And keep in mind with Garth, like regrowth effects that Garth has, and you can utilize it right away. Yeah, crazy things. Next up, Gilran, Duty Protector, a 2/3 human noble, pay 2, tap, exile target creature you control. You may return the card to the battlefield under its control. Yeah, we're going to be doing that. If you don't, at the beginning of the next 10 step, return the card to the battlefield under its control, the vigilance counter on it, or lifelink counter on it. Yeah, most likely we're just going to be like, no, we're going to bring it right back. There are going to be times where you say the delay, if, in case, like, someone's casting a Wrath and we're like, oh, can't stop that, but I'd like to save something. Cool, so save your one thing, comes back to the end step, but most likely it's going to be like, nope, let's get it back right away, use that value right away, go infinite right away, again with Village Bellringer or Great Oak Guardian or your commander. Crazy things can happen with a deck like this. But now, as this episode is coming to a close, well, it's time for me to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know your thoughts are on this deck. As you can tell, I'm really excited about it. I love tap creatures again. I just absolutely love that, like, free value to be like, oh yeah, okay, I got it in play, and now each time I can, I'm just gonna tap it, and I'm gonna get value out of it. And then, yeah, I got ways that I can untap it and get more value out of it. And maybe I got some ways to go crazy and untap it like 18 times in a turn and do some crazy things with it. So yeah, Arcanus, I love you! Draw me all the cards. Draw me all the cards, please. So yeah, you can do some really crazy things with a deck like this. Even go infinite in a deck like this if you want to. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on it. If you are interested in this deck as well, again, incredibly budget friendly, check out that deck list link in the description below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.